Now, if you look at the world that we found ourselves in over the last 4 to 6 weeks, we all had business continuity plans. We'd all gone and tested how our computer systems would work if we had a crisis. But what we hadn't done is we hadn't tested how our people would work. And now what's happened, we have implemented in a very short period of time a whole new way of working. And if you think about it, that's not something that's come from top down. What's actually happened is the challenge has been posted to our people, and they have had to work their way through this. They have had to think about how they were going to do things differently so organizations could continue to thrive. And I'm minded of a commentary I read this morning from the chief executive of Barclays Bank in the UK, who said that he is now debating whether, in fact, Barclays' 70,000 people will ever go back into working in big offices again. Because much to his surprise, he found that you could work and run a major financial institution with everybody working from home. The time it takes to do things has probably improved as a consequence of people working from home. Statistically, whenever you are working in an open plan office, which is in fact the greatest single invention ever devised for destroying productivity in an organization, you will find that you are interrupted statistically every 11 minutes, and it then takes you 22 minutes to then get back to full levels of productivity. So we've now got this incredible, amazing gift that we have been forced to rip up the way that we have been working, give or take the odd interruption caused by war, for over 100 years. And that is the 9 to 5. That is the office-based culture. Now, we've been arguing in 4-day week for some time that actually the way we worked in the 21st century, the construct of the 9 to 5 days a week, was no longer fit for purpose. And the reason we were hesitant to move to a different model, I think, was two reasons. One was it was that most people didn't trust their staff. So trust was one of the key issues. The second was about productivity. How do I know what productivity is? Well, again, most of our companies have absolutely no idea what productivity per employee is. What we did do is we used the surrogate of time. If I knew when you arrived and I knew when you left, that broadly was the benchmark that I used to determine what I was getting out of an individual. And again, now we no longer have the arrival time and the departure time. So we're now learning how to gauge productivity without having the employee there in front of us and using the benchmark of time. We have to use the benchmark of output. Now, those two barriers, productivity, understanding productivity, and trust, were the major reasons why most companies, whenever we talk to them about the 4-day week, why most companies would go, well, actually, that won't work for me because I don't understand those issues. So when I look now at the opportunity that we have, it is that we have learned those lessons in the last 4 to 6 weeks. And suddenly you're starting to see company after company say, maybe, just maybe, we're going to make this home working thing or flexible working far more part of our future. If you look at our world, we had the problem of the silent pandemic, and that was stress and mental health. We look at the impact of COVID on our country, or even if you look at the impact of COVID around the world, its impact is a fraction of the impact of stress and mental health, where 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 of a workforce at any point in time. So that's not saying 1 in 4 of the population, that's at any point in time, because all of us go through this, suffering from stress or mental health issues. And we have to say, well, is that something that we want to do? That then flows into the impact on the health service. It flows into issues at home. It flows into things like domestic abuse. It flows into how you bring up your kids, what you can be a role model. How can you do that if in fact you've got high levels of stress, mental health? And that's not obviously just at a workforce level. That is also existing at all levels and all ages in society. So now if we have a chance to reset that, would that be beneficial if people had more time to recharge their batteries, more time to connect with their families? All the things that they've had over the last 4 to 6 weeks. So if possible, we want to hang on to that. If we are working from home, does that mean that the office is a construct of the past? Now, I've got, of the varying CEOs of the businesses that we own, are coming to me now and saying, actually, Andrew, yeah, we'd like to retain home working, or more to the point, we can't envisage ever going back into our offices anymore. Now, that's a challenge if you're a landlord, but it's a massive opportunity for the future construct of our cities if, in fact, we decide to convert our office blocks to housing, which is centrally located, which then in turn means we don't need the infrastructure that we are building to bring people in from suburbs ever further and further afield. And those close proximity to the city centre where people walk then will have a beneficial impact on the climate. So you can see, for me, I look at this and say this is a massive opportunity for us to rebuild something that is better coming out of COVID. And for me, it's actually a massive opportunity. The area where I am most concerned is about our young people, that this generation under 30 will have gone through 2 major economic recessions in the space of 10 years. So if you came out around the global financial crisis from university, you got smacked once, you're going to get hit again. So I am very much of the view now that we have to do a major rethink as we come out of this. We have to start to say that actually the model that we have, this 5-day-week model, has got to go. We have to get back to rebalancing the life so that people can do 2 things. One, they can recharge their batteries, but also they can engage with both their family and their society. And that might be by having the opportunity to continue their education, to reskill themselves, to take advantage of the opportunities that are likely to come down the track. Because if we don't create an environment like that, we face the challenge of long-term structural youth unemployment. After all, things like hospitality, which may well, international hospitality, may well be closed for 2 to 3 years, was an area in which it was relatively easy to get employment. And if that is gone, what replaces it? And the only way we can replace that is if we have a highly skilled, highly flexible, motivated workforce that is capable of picking up the challenges that are going to be presented by the 21st century. And to do that, they need different skills than the ones that we have given them, the ones that they have paid for. And we're going to have to find a way to actually make that change. The point of caution, of course, is that if we don't grasp this opportunity, businesses will default to the normal, and that is to business as usual, but probably leaner, fewer staff, possibly lower wages. And we'll have learned absolutely nothing from the last 4 weeks, and we'll have taken nothing out of the COVID crisis. So that's, I think, broadly where we sit at the moment, but there is a route out.